Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about rounding numbers, the basics of rounding for 4.MBT.3. If you would please just watch this video through once to listen and learn, and then a second time with your math notebook where you can pause, copy notes, and also pause to practice the practice problems with me, checking your answers after you start the video back up. Okay, here we go. First of all, if you could please head your notebook paper with what we are working on, which is rounding numbers. The example we're going to use for these notes is round 1,423 to the tens place. I teach this strategy in steps, so I'm going to go through each step with you one at a time. Here we go. So our rounding strategy. The first thing we do is we circle the number in the place value that you're being asked to round. So the question said round 1,423 to the tens place. So I know I'm going to circle the number in the tens place, and that is the 2. So I'm going to be rounding the 2 in the tens place. Next thing we do is we draw a fish hook pointing at the place value behind the circled number. So I draw what looks like a smile, but it has a point on the end. It's a fish hook, kind of like in the cartoons. And so the place value behind the tens place is the ones place value. That 3 that the fish hook is pointing to is going to be telling me what to do. Okay, next, if the number that the hook is pointing to, which would be the 3, is 5 or more, you add 1 to the circled number. If the number is 0 to 4, you leave the circled number the same. So when we look at that number, we see that it is a 3. That means that the 2 is going to stay the same. We do not change this one when we are rounding. So I'm going to copy the 2 down. It stays the same because we just rounded, and that's what it told us to do. The next step is that everything in front of the rounded number stays the same. That means the 1,000 and the 400 stay the same. Everything in back becomes a 0. So any other spot becomes a 0. So the answer to rounding 1,423 to the tens place, the answer would be 1,420. Okay, so next we're going to work on practicing some of these problems. So you're just going to follow along with me. It would be really great if you would practice these on a piece of paper in your notebook and then stop the video and practice it and get your answer, and then start the video back up and check to see if you have the same answer as me. And if you do, awesome. And if you don't, figure out why and hopefully learn from mistakes. All right, so here we go. It says to practice rounding the number to the underlined place value. So 784, they have the 8 underlined, so I'm going to circle it. That means I'm rounding to the hundreds place. Circle the number I'm rounding. Go ahead and draw your fish hook. So I am now going to look at the 6. If it is 5 or more, I add 1 to the circled number, and it is. It's a 6, so I need to add 1 to that 8. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Everything in front would stay the same, but there is nothing in front, so it just stays as nothing. Everything in back becomes zeros. So there we go. So 864 rounded to the closest hundred is 900. Next one, 12,843. They have underlined to the thousands place, so I'm going to be rounding to the thousands place value. I circle the number in the place value. I draw the fish hook. So I'm looking at where the fish hook is pointing. If it's 5 or more, I add 1 more. It is 5 or more. It is actually 8. So that means the 2 plus 1 becomes a 3. Everything in front stays the same. So that means the 1 stays the same, but everything in back becomes zeros. Just make sure when you're adding your zeros, or even when you're putting the numbers back in front, that you have a match for every place value. You don't want to forget a 0 because that would change your answer and give you the wrong answer. Make sure you put in the matching amount of zeros. Next one, 564,732 rounded to the nearest 10,000s place. They have the 6 underlined, that's in the 10,000s. I'm going to circle the 6, and I'm going to draw a fish hook over to the 4. So remembering 5 or more, add 1 more. That is not 5 or more, so that's a 4. So that means the 6 will stay the same. So I'll copy the 6 down. Everything in front stays the same. That means I bring down my 5. And everything behind becomes a 0. So I put in all the place values. Make sure you get them all. So 564,732 rounded to the nearest 10,000s place is 560,000. Sorry. Last one we're going to practice, 183,962. They have the 100,000s place value underlined, so that's where we're rounding to. We're going to circle the 1. We're going to draw our fishhook. We see that it is an 8. 8 is more than 5, so we know I have to add 1 to the 1 here. So 1 plus 1 becomes 2 in the 100,000s place. There is nothing in front that would stay the same, but I know everything in back becomes a 0. So I'm going to put my matching zeros for the place values. And I know that 183,962 rounded to the nearest 100,000 place value is 200,000. That'll do it for our notes. I hope you enjoyed the video and feel free to watch it again if you need some more help. Let me know if I can help you with anything else. Thanks. Bye.